Chapter 1: The Stranger and the Dream. 10 months later. I've been here before. Some invisible force is pulling the boat forward. Through the fog, I can see a small island with a tower standing at its center. It beacons me. Hey guys, welcome back to Detective D, the Silk Rose Murders. In the last episode we finished up the prologue, and now we are here at Chapter 1, back again with D. Rengier. As I actually looked up, he is supposed to be pronounced Rengier, but it doesn't really matter. Here we are, and this seems like a dream of him. I don't think that this is actually happening, because there's also a deer on the stairs. So we're gonna have a look around first, of course. So what's this drum? A large drum. It resembles the toy pallet drum I cherished as a boy. We can't go here. A deer is blocking the passage to the tower. What a magnificent animal. I wonder if it will let me pass. Can we talk to it? The song. You speak? Flawless deduction, detective. Can you tell me why I am here? The song. You must play the song. I don't understand. What song? Your song. Okay, and for some reason a drumstick appeared here. It's an odd-looking drumstick, and we're gonna take it, of course. We are going to play the drums with it, but first what happens if we interact with that? Oh! Baga symbols. Yin-yang symbol. It's the yin-yang symbol. Using my hand on the drum only produces a faint, indistinct sound. These are Baga symbols. Using my hand? Okay, so we will need the... Do we go with the yin-yang symbol? What are we supposed to do? I don't understand, to be honest. Okay, let's go back and talk to the deer again, because maybe they have the song. You must play the song. Yeah, what is the song though? What is the solution to this? Okay, this is a little bit puzzling, to be honest. Okay, let's have a look at the drum again. And maybe he will tell us something. There are Bagua symbols. It is the yin-yang symbol. The yin-yang symbol. Baga symbols. How are we supposed to solve this? So there are none here. There's no connection here. There's a connection here. Wait a second, so there must be something that we can actually do to get the combination. You have the drumstick reveals all. Okay, I really don't understand Should examine the drum first. Large drum I cherished as a boy. These are Bagua symbols. Is there any way that we can actually do anything about this? It's the yin-yang symbol. I really don't understand how to solve this. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Okay, maybe we can just... It's a single drumstick with a strange marking along its shaft. Huh. Okay, wait a second. So... Where do we start though? Oh, wait a second. So this looks like this one. And there's also, wait a second. So there's this here on the upper side. So I guess this yin-yang symbol is supposed to be hit last. So we are supposed to hit this one once. This symbol 3 times. This one once. And the last one being this one? Because it's upside down, isn't it? And twice. Okay, so once again, once, 3 times, once, 2 times. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. So, once again, once, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. And that seems to be correct. Cool, okay, we got it. Okay, that was a harsh one though for the start of this chapter already. Okay, so it vanished. I guess we did something right. Can we speak to the deer again? What a fine tune you play, dear Engier. You know me? It is you that the drum calls. Your song breaks the silence. Who are you? In this place, names are unimportant, except your own. What am I doing here? You are needed. The moment has come for you to show your true self. But time is fading. The wolf is on the move. Calamity is upon the flower and the flesh. The gold and the gate. What calamity? Who is in danger? What can I do? Cross the threshold and protect the lost ones. Break the wolf's spell and save the remaining roses. Now go. Speak no more. Go, before it is too late. Climb the tower and save her. Save who? What? Okay, that's weird. That is by far one of the weirdest things I have seen in a point and click. And I've played my fair share of point and clicks, guys. So, okay, so let's just enter. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, there are ninjas climbing the tower. Oh my goodness. Okay, did I do something? Okay. The same dream again. No matter how many times I run up the tower, bloodshed is all that ever comes from it. And what of the talking deer who seems to speak in riddles? I must not dwell on that now. My new assignment awaits. Okay, that was indeed weird. Very weird. Before I go, I should add an entry to my journal about the dream. Okay, so we are home. We can have a look around. And we will, of course, the capital city of Chang'an. I am fond of the time I spent here during my imperial examinations. Father served here as an imperial counselor for some years, but despite all that, the city never quite felt like home. A promotion as the magistrate of such an important region will come with a lot of responsibility. I hope I can live up to my father's good name. We hope to. Most of my belongings are in that travel trunk. I don't have much time to pack my things, but the essentials are in there. Let's have a look at the jade horse. My lucky jade horse. It was a gift from my father. I take it with me wherever I go. That's the journal. So we're going to interact with the journal because he wanted us to do so. Nothing else to check out here? Nope. It's my journal. I should add an entry about last night's dream. Let's do that then. Late spring 689. I don't know if that's Christian time or if it's the Chinese years or whatever. I really can't answer that. But I think the Tang Dynasty was around that time. I'm not sure though. I will have to look that up. I solved my first major case in Peng Lai. At first confounded, I needed to peel away the onion's many layers to find at its center a simple story. A prideful man murdered by a scorned lover. Yet again, I'm reminded of the fragility of the human heart. But it seems the minister took notice of my work. He spoke of how I would gain favor with the emperor, now that I had resurrected the Bonda Treaty. Bonda Treaty? Okay, whatever. He even spoke of greatness in me. A silly notion, I thought. I had only done my job, and perhaps I had done it better. Sun Ying would still be alive. She remains in my thoughts, ever mysterious. Sun Ying was the maidservant. And he already also said something about that is not actually over after the prologue, but I digress. Midsummer 689, the emperor is dead. It is the saddest of days. News from the capital arrived this morning. A mysterious illness said to be caused. How do we... I wanna turn the page. But I can't. Why? Ah, here we go, okay. By lingering health issues took hold and never let go. Now with the outcome of the Korean treaty on hold, his legacy will surely suffer. Generations of my family have served the emperor and his forebears. His royal mandate woven into my own sense of purpose. It is a time of deep reflection, a time of mourning. Late summer 689. I've begun having a very peculiar recurring dream. In it I find myself on a small boat gliding across the water as if I pulled by an invisible force. It eventually brings me to a tiny island populated only by a strange talking deer and a shadowy figure standing atop a great temple. But just as I manage to convince the creature to allow me passage up the tower, I sense a grave danger looming over me. What happens next is unclear, but one thing is certain. No matter how hard I try, I fail to overcome this sinister threat. Late winter 690. The emperor's still grieving wife, Consort Wu, has now broken with tradition and proclaimed herself the Empress and rightful ruler of China. There are rumors of her brutal tactics never berating across the imperial echo chamber. Stories of ruthless Cephizals? I don't know what that word means. And a secret police force used to silence her opposition. But what am I to believe? Was her rise to power illegitimate? Or are these aspersions nothing more than exaggerated hearsay spread by envious detractors? No doubt, a woman reigning over the empire for the first time will vex the establishment, but the imperial court must survive this turmoil. We must come together for the good of the realm. Early spring 690. 10 months have passed. since the Korean ambassador's murder. 8 have gone by since the death of Emperor Gaozong, and another 2 have lapsed since Wu Zetian rose to power. Yet today, I received a letter from the Ministry of Justice declaring that I am to become the new investigating magistrate of Chang'an, and that I am required to appear at the capital without delay. It seems the Empress wants to meet me. I think I want to meet her too. I should make note of my arrival and the cryptic dream I had last night. Well, let's do that then. I arrived at Chang'an last night. I made my way to the Justice Department where I am to stay. A young lieutenant showed me to my new living quarters, but my first night here is marred by the same cryptic dream. I awake with a sense of dread and restlessness. I feel I can ignore it no longer, but what can I do? I can't shake the feeling that something bad is about to happen. Okay, so now we can just go out, right? Okay, we did that, so now we can leave, I guess, and we are going to do so. And here we are at the Royal Garden, or Royal Manor, well, mansion. Chang'an, Tang Dynasty, China. Okay, we're gonna have a look around first, of course. For example, let's have a look at this plant. A rather frail looking plant to place by itself in such a large courtyard. There's a bucket, there's a hammer. Can we take the hammer? We can, it seems at least. A sturdy looking hammer. I may have a use for this. So let's take it. Scaffolding. Okay, it looks like some repairs are being done to the roof. Nothing else we can do though. We can enter, we can read the plague too. The Justice Department. Okay, so this is the Justice Department. Looks awesome. Let's go inside. Justice Department, Imperial Palace. So, this is where we live. Okay, so we want to go to the Imperial Palace here. And see what we are about to encounter. There's the Empress, it seems. Maybe. We found and captured the rebels responsible for the attack on the royal temple. Good! By attacking the sacred temple, they are trying to undermine the symbol of my heavenly mandate. No quarters to be given to those agitators. Do you think General Zhang may have something to do with the recent disturbances? Zhang is a hardline traditionalist whose opposition against me is as clear as a stake in a barren field. But I know how to catch snakes like him. Where's Di Renjie? He is here, Your Majesty, waiting in the antechamber. Are you sure he can be trusted? That is what I intend to find out. Bring him in. Alright. We are about to meet the Empress. The Empress will see you now. Oh, okay, thanks. You may. At once beautiful and intimidating, she has an air of confidence that is undeniable. We can talk to her too. I am Commander Yao Mei, Captain of Her Majesty's Imperial Guard. Your questions for me can wait. You should speak to Her Majesty first. Okay, if that is the case, let's go to the Empress then. Nothing to check out here anyway. There we are. Welcome, Di Renjie. I have been looking forward to meeting you. Let's go with I am honored. This humble servant is honored by Your Majesty's reception. I trust you had a chance to rest last night. I understand you left Panglai 3 days ago to undertake the long journey to the capital. Yes, but the road was kind to us. My caravan arrived at the Justice Department just after nightfall. I had sufficient time to settle in for a night's rest. Good! The winds of change are blowing. There is no time to waste. Tell me, Magistrate D, do you know why I called you at this particular moment? I'm not sure I follow. I thought perhaps you maybe wondered why it took so long for your promotion to the capital to be confirmed. After all, that was my husband's wish before his untimely death. When he heard of how you solved the Korean ambassador's murder and rescued his border treaty, he made it very clear he wanted you to serve by his side. If he were still with us today, you would have been reassigned to Chang'an long ago. I humbly serve the imperial court where I am needed. Your Majesty, I mourned Emperor Gaozong's death, but it is not in my nature to question my position or rank. It is a rare thing to witness true modesty. The truth is my transition to power was not without some interference. The same kind of meddling and disapproval I've encountered all my life. But I will not tolerate folly for the sake of facile traditionalism. I hope I can count on your loyalty just as my husband did. My loyalty is to the law, and I will serve to it the best of my ability, so long as your Majesty, so long as your Majesty permits it. I see. And what if the law is unjust? Unjust men create unjust law. The law does not... Let's go with the first option. I think that's better. Unjust men create unjust law. In the face of injustice, I believe we must stand up to it. Indeed, men can be fools misguided by power and greed. Such vipers are around every corner. In fact, the man that you are replacing, a man whose name deserves no mention in these hallowed halls, was such an offender. A horrid man who routinely abused his power. His worst sin of all was that of incompetence. But enough about the past. You are here because I need someone to succeed where he failed. Dear NGA, I hereby name you the new investigating magistrate of Chang'an. What say you? We will go with the first one because it's more humble, right? It will be my privilege to serve the people of Chang'an in the name of the Dragon Throne. Then it is done. Rise now as my chief agent of justice. You are now the guardian of Chang'an, the jewel of China, finest city in the world. But I'm afraid not all is right in your shining capital. I fear a sickness of doubt and fear spreading across our streets and homes. The hearts and minds of men are fragile. As the first woman to hold the mandate of heaven, I cannot allow my reign to be crippled by this infection. I must show the naysayer that I can be as strong as any man, even if I must rule with an iron fist. This sickness must be stamped out. Law and order must be swift and unyielding. We must go on. I think the second one is better. Caution, I don't know, but doing things virtuously is just better, right? We must govern virtuously if the hearts and minds your Majesty speaks of can be redeemed, or indeed cured. I fear force alone is not the answer. How pragmatic of you, Magistrate D. I suspect even my husband may have underestimated your gift for counsel. Your notions of virtue and balance are sobering, but we are nonetheless responsible for cleaning the streets of the miscreants who would dare undermine our empire. And that is exactly what you shall do. I'm at your Majesty's command. Before I relieved him of his duties, your predecessor was working on a case that, shall we say, overwhelmed his limited intellect. A young woman by the name of Zhu Lin Fei was viciously murdered in her own home 9 days ago. A short inquiry ended with the poor woman's blind father detained and charged for the crime. But I sense a grave injustice is being done. Your immediate task is to reopen this investigation and find out the truth behind this heinous crime. And if what you discover should exonerate her father, I would like you to report back to me directly. Yes, of course. Your first lieutenant at the Justice Department can apprise you of further details, but you may ask me any question you like. About the victim, about the accused. Let's go with the first option. I wish to offer my condolences for the passing of Emperor Gaozong. Although I never had the privilege of meeting him, I was an admirer of his reforms. Your sentiment is appreciated, Magistrate. My husband was indeed a great man. He led our country into the world stage, and now it is up to us to fulfill that destiny. Now is the time to look to the future. Does your Majesty have a special interest in this case? Surely only weeks after your enthronement ceremony, police matters are the least of your concerns. On the contrary, there is no greater threat to the Empire than the spread of fear and hatred from within. Without law and order, this house of cards is but a tremor away from crumbling. Whatever the cost, I will see to it that those seeking to disturb the peace shall never find any of their own. What can you tell me about the victim? Julian Fay met a horrible end. At first strangled to death, her misery did not stop there. After taking her life, the murderer went on to mutilate her, carving out her heart and taking it from her lifeless body. I ask you, what manner of barbarism is that? Such hatred would suggest the killer may have known the victim, perhaps someone close, someone seeking revenge. Whatever the motive, I want to see this wretched killer captured and punished for what he has done. I will not stand for such depravity. The whole of the country watches my every move. I will not have my mandate tarnish my defiant. What can you tell me about the accused? Your predecessor believed that the victim's father, Jules Dan, came to resent his daughter for abandoning him for several years. She eventually returned, but by then his heart had soured and filled with hate, igniting his violent outburst. But your Majesty does not believe this theory? Not for a second. Setting aside the fact that the father is an old blind man, only a fool could theorize that a woman so obviously devoted to her father could deserve such retribution. Even during all those years away from his side, she made sure to send money for his care. Besides, your predecessor would have sooner forced a square peg into a round hole than do any real police work. I've told you everything I know. As for what is still unknown, I expect you to uncover it and return the favor. You may speak to Commander Yao if you need any additional assistance. She is my most trusted officer. Thank you, Your Majesty. Alright guys, I'm really sorry, but we have reached the end of the episode mark. If you want to know what this case is all about, you'll have to tune in next time for Detective D, The Silk Rose Murders. See you then.